Words are really powerful, so we have to be super careful about what we say, but also careful about what we don't say. Welcome back to the 50/50 Project, where every week I talk through an item on a list made up of one thing I've learned for each year I've lived. This week, we're in the love category again for thing number 36, spit it out or let it go. And I'm going to practice what I preach here today, so this will be short and sweet and to the point. I believe that words are immensely powerful. In some ways, when we write or speak something, and particularly when we then share it, we make it real. We bring it from our own mind into the shared world. And once it's out there, it can't really be put back in the bottle. So there's a lot to be said for, well, not saying a lot. But when something contentious or thorny comes up, when we find ourselves wrestling with whether to air grievances or address wrongs or express anger or ask for redress, this becomes really kind of complicated. And I think that's mostly because when we broach a sensitive topic, we always run at least a little risk of harming our relationships, starting a fight, inflicting a wound, causing a rift. And we really don't want to do that. But it's tricky because we might also end up compromising our relationships by never saying what we really need to say. If we bottle something up that really needs to come out, it can fester, it can build, it can become almost a kind of infection in the relationship, leading to resentment and changes in the dynamic over time. And we really don't want that either. And figuring out that balance has been really tough for me as a person who is naturally pretty avoidant of conflict, or in fact, feelings of any kind. I've had to develop a simple kind of rubric for determining whether something really needs to be talked through. And it's as simple as asking whether I can truly let the thing go. And if I say no, then I know I need to bite the bullet and have the conversation. And if I say yes, I can let it go, I kind of have to observe myself for a little while. And if a couple weeks go by and a couple interactions with the other party come and go, and it isn't a thorn that keeps reemerging to stick in the side, I can probably put the topic down and walk away. But if I say I'm letting it go, then it rears its ugly head in my mind or heart. Well, I know I have not, in fact, let it go, and I'm probably going to have to talk it out instead. And this is almost idiotically simple on paper, this whole episode. And in some ways, I can't believe I'm wasting an item number on something that is pretty self evident. But the fact that it's simple to say, spit it out or let it go, doesn't mean that it's easy to execute. And I've borrowed a lot of misery over the last few decades, and unfortunately lost a couple pretty important connections because I neither spit it out nor let it go. And instead, I let this unspoken thing simmer on low, on the back burner of a friendship or a relationship until it finally boiled over at the worst possible time. I should also say that the spitting it out part isn't as simple as it sounds either. It's not about blurting out a stream of accusations indiscriminately. It's not about spitting it into the other person's face. It has to be a controlled, clear, diplomatic conversation. And if you can manage it, a kind conversation. And I don't have this part of the equation sufficiently figured out to give much advice on how to have these kinds of difficult, confrontational conversations. But I would offer one thing that I learned from Malcolm Gladwell, actually. In his book, Talking to Strangers, he discusses a particular cognitive bias called the illusion of asymmetric insights. And boiled way, way down, it just means that we're all pretty attuned to our own personal complexity. We're aware that our motivations are layered and complicated and interwoven, and that when we do something, good or bad, we have a rich web of reasons for doing what we do. But when we think about the reasoning of other people, we just don't credit them with the same kind of complexity and richness. So when our friend is late for lunch, instead of thinking about the interplay of complicating factors in her life that led to her being 20 minutes behind schedule, we tend to jump to, well, she's just kind of a dick like that. Or, well, she doesn't value my time. Or, well, she must have had something better to do or someone she cared more about filling up those 20 minutes. And if something is bothering me, I'm probably not going to get to the heart of the other person's hows or whys unless I ask them about it, because I'm not operating with an innate, wired in appreciation of their complexity, not in the way that I appreciate my own. All of which is a pretty good argument for spitting out the thing that is bothering you, the thing that you can't let go, so that the other person can help you arrive at a more nuanced understanding of their take on whatever it is. I mean, ideally, we can let most things go. It is, for me at least, the far less taxing option of the two, and we can't hash every damn thing out that annoys us, or for some of us, that would be literally all we did all day. But when I'm carrying something heavy, instead of letting it go, I know it's time to spit it out, and hopefully in a respectful and constructive way. Okay, I know that doesn't solve the whole problem or answer the whole question, but that's what I've got for today. I hope that you're able to spit it out or let it go, or at least shore up some asymmetrical illusions of some kind. Thanks for spending some time with me today, and I'll be back next week with thing number 37.